let us come to order at, let's see, what time is it? 8:02. And first on the order is the minutes of June 26, 2020. So do we have any comments on the minutes?
I move acceptance.
Okay.
Second the motion.
All right then, all in favor of the accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, I think, Walter,
Yep, you got an eye from me.
okay. Yeah, okay, because I can't see your hand. Okay, so any opposed? But I think we have a majority already, so the minutes are accepted. And moving along. Okay, so the one page, the moderator calls it a narrative, but we need a something to present along with the article to explain in simpler terms than the legalese what this is and why we're doing it. And I was looking, I was trying to come up with something to give us for a start, and then I looked at our town report entry, and it actually seemed to have pretty much all the details that we wanted to present in our narrative, and it's already less than a page. So
Yeah.
so and I think we can probably even edit it down a little bit, because it was
I think, first of all, thank you for your proactiveness in getting this out. And there's just a couple of little changes that I would recommend.
that is exactly, yes, that is as I said, it was a starting point.
Okay, here's where we go. At the top of it, it says Article 15, whatever, okay? And then it states the motion, okay? Which it is not done in this handout, okay? So we do have to put the motion there. So we
The
put,
motion is up.
Oh yeah. No, the motion. I'm sorry. Which we're looking at the town report right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at the town report, okay?
Yes. No. Yes. The motion. There has to be a narrative, and then the narrative would be followed by the motion. Or no, is it the other way around? It's the motion and then the narrative.
We're talking about a handout, though, okay?
No. Yeah. No. Okay. So let me back up a second. A few articles of information. Okay, so first of all, there's no handout. Well, there's a single handout for the entire town meeting. There's one booklet that has everybody's
Explanation, yeah.
materials in it. And I don't actually know exactly how this is going to be composed, but I know that what we need to prepare for it, we have already prepared our article for it. Our article has been accepted. And we also need to provide a 1-page or less narrative to accompany it. And then the people who produce this thing will take the article, the narrative, put them together somehow in this booklet, along with everybody else's articles and narratives. And that is what people will have in their laps during town meeting.
Okay, so given that this is an excellent narrative, thoughtfully written, complete, and so forth, and appropriately dense. And
Yes.
what my approach to this is very directly, and that is that at the top of this, we put the motion. Okay, you got to have the motion. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm saying we already have the motion.
Okay, but I'm going to put on this handout. Okay, because here's the complete now. Okay, the top of it has the motion. Okay, then it has this wonderfully complete and carefully written narrative. Okay, and then down at the bottom, in great big bold typeface, and raise the typeface by a couple of points or whatever it is, it says, both the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Commission recommend approval of this motion.
Oh, yes, that is an excellent point. That is an excellent point. That needs to be in there. Thank you.
So the whole point I want people to get at is they look at it, it says Article 15 at the top, then it has a motion, which they may start to read, but their eye will move right down to the bottom of the page, and they'll say, am I going to read all that stuff? No. The Board of Selectmen and and the
Yes.
FinCom recommend approval. Bang, okay, done. And end of discussion.
Okay.
Right, that's why I want to make the thing at the bottom of it, and I would not, David, I would not reduce the density of what's here, because that's thorough and complete and meets all, you know, anything that our moderator might want. But the message is only, there's a motion, and the BOS and FinCom recommend approval, and therefore everybody, all in favor, bang. On to the next, on to 16.
Yeah. Thank you. That's okay. And with any luck, if we present it in that format with the big letters at the bottom, they will keep it in big letters.
And even Mike Lawson seems to be giving it, I don't know whose thumbs up it is, John's.
Oh, John Hinkling from the Finance Committee. Yeah, good.
That's right, yeah. So I think, and if we just say both the Board of Selectmen and Finance Commission recommend approval of this motion, then that's all the discussion we need.
I agree.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And and the density of the writing keeps people from wasting time reading it.
Oh, very good.
Also meets all the legal requirements. It covers every point in the background and everything else. It's very well written. It's a nice job. I don't know who did it. Probably not me. That's a nice job.
David did it.
David did it. Well,
Hey, David,
great.
David, one of the things about it that I like very much, dense, maybe so, but it answers all the questions that I can imagine coming up. You know, how many people applied for this? How expensive was it? How did it hit the budget? I mean, you did a beautiful job of articulating all those points. Those are the questions people are going to have in their mind, I think.
Yeah, I was wondering if I think you're right. I think that needs to stay in there. So yeah, there's actually yeah.
Because we've avoided doing any significant new work because you've done the work already. So we don't have to do any new work at all. We put the motion at the top and the statement of the BOS and the FinCom at the bottom in big, bold typeface.
Sounds good.
And now we can go to breakfast.
Well, you all know that it's been taken off the consent calendar.
Do we know why?
Why
Yes,
the
that
moderator?
was the
I
other
don't
piece
know.
of news.
Why?
It said because town council thought it was too complicated.
If we
Something
wanted
to that effect.
we could say the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee, and the Town Assessor recommend approval.
Oh yes, it was.
Because actually the gross income is something which the assessor wanted.
Yeah, with that.
All that people want to know to get through this thing is if the FinCom and the Board of Selectmen say do it, they are not going to want to spend any more time sitting out there.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I'll just keep it to select board and FinCom. That's bang bang done. You know.
Good.
But yeah, like that as you say that pretty much should cover all the bases.
By the way, I dated myself because I said both the Board of Selectmen wrong, both the Select Board.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I know. I was translating in my head. When it gets to paper, it'll be select board.
You know, I think it was passed 3 years ago, and it's worked very well. The record is good.
Yeah.
Any changes have been recommended by the town departments to make it easier for them to do it. That's
Yeah.
the only changes in it. It just seems to me it just should happen, and hopefully there should be in there the request that it be made permanent, not for the 3 years that it was originally set up to be.
Yeah, it is. That's there.
If you wanted to say, diddle it with a final statement right after permanent in the bottom sentence, bottom paragraph, you could just add, as in the town of Sudbury.
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Yes, the town of Sudbury, and I just looked that up yesterday. They theirs became permanent in 2016.
But that's okay. It's permanent now, and
Yeah. Exactly. No, so I can say that as
as in the town
made
of
permanent as was done in the town of Sudbury in 2016.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Sudbury is a good thing to refer to, because I remember at the town meeting, somebody said that the rail trail was going to let low life from Sudbury wander up into town.
Yeah. Well, okay. So should I mention the Sudbury thing or not? Because
I move that we adopt this thing with those little changes.
okay.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Okay, so I'll make those changes. Would anyone like to, well, one or two members who want to proofread it before I send the final thing off?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, Nancy. Okay, fine. Nancy will proofread it then. Good. Okay. So next order of business. Let's get the agenda back up on my screen. Yes, the publicity for Article 15, which suddenly is a little bit, well, just a little bit more important since we're off the consent calendar.
It has been, I have gotten it into the COA bulletin, explaining it, or it's just a very short thing explaining it, and why we're doing it and what we need to do.
Okay.
But do we want to get anything into the journal?
Sorry, Nancy, I missed the gist of what you're telling us to do.
Do we want to get anything into the journal about it? We have in the past.
You
I don't
want
think
to
it's
give your changes
necessary.
on the careful editorial approach of the Concord Journal?
I missed that. What did you say?
I say, I just assume not take any chances on the editorial capabilities of the Concord Journal.
Oh,
I'm with you.
I would not want to suggest that there was anything controversial in this at all.
Oh,
And in the-
yes, that's true.
you know,
Yeah.
They're going to be right up there with the fish stocking in White Pond and things like that.
no, that, well, I mean, we'd give them something to as a commentary that they would not necessarily be making any changes. They definitely wouldn't be making any changes. But yeah, what do you think about
Just having it in the journal may give the impression that it's, something that should be considered. I mean, if it's not in the journal, it'll just be in the meeting and just.
Okay.
I agree with
Gotcha.
I agree with them. I think that's true. I think you put it in the journal and all of a sudden it raises its profile and people wonder, what's the problem? Why are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Hey, we just dealt with another.
Okay. So in other words, the publicity has been done.
Yes.
All that we needed.
Did we formally vote on the previous motion?
Okay. Yes, actually, that is a good point. You proposed a. Yes, you proposed. Okay, I didn't hear the words I moved, but okay, I get that. So it's a motion. Do I have a second for that?
I think we have one.
Second.
Jay seconded.
Okay, and this is the motion to submit the narrative with the changes described. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, I see or hear none. So Okay, so we have a vote on that too. Thank you. All right. And we've dealt with publicity. So do we need to, actually, so let's see, I have an article, an item here to contact Mike Barrett and Tammy Gouveia. I'm actually
be happy to do it, but I think it only should be done after this has been passed by town meeting.
right. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So after it's passed, actually that's a good point. So after it's passed, we could contact them promptly to let them know that this is ready to proceed.
Good.
And the ball's in their court, right?
Well, the selectmen have to send it to them.
The select board would then move at one of its meetings to submit the home rule petition to the legislature. And then copies would go directly to the speaker and the president of the Senate, as well as Mike and Tammy.
All right.
We certainly can let them know before that happens that this is what's going on.
Sure. And you guys could certainly, as a committee, write to Mike and Tammy and thank them for the support they had before and hope that they will again support it, although Tammy wasn't there when the first bill was submitted.
Like, don't we have to, it's only the select board that submits the home rule petition, right? So this will
yes. So we would merely be informing them a little bit in advance that this is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But we are not making any formal request. Okay. All right. And again, actually, so once again, Nancy, should you and I draft that?
Yeah.
When the time comes? Okay.
Right.
We will do that then. And let's see. And do we need a vote on this? I don't
think so, no.
No, I wouldn't think so. All right, so then on to the next item, which is the status of the search for the new committee member. Now we had,
Well, David, I had mentioned a couple of names, but
Yeah.
honestly, frankly, I hadn't talked to them. They've been away most of the summer, and I just haven't caught up with them yet. So that was the Mark and Sarah Pacelli. Either one. Mark, to remind you, they live up on Monument Street. Mark is an engineer. He's been working for a European company, and Sarah is the chief public relations person for healthcare for the homeless in Boston. So I think either one of them would be excellent. But I haven't talked to them. And my talk would just simply be, are you interested? Don't know whether it would develop, but just to gauge their interest.
Yeah.
Now there might be others too. I don't know.
We need a woman.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I was thinking. Sarah would be great.
Several of us have our terms ending after town meeting, and I'm one of them. I think there are others. So I think that I don't think we can continue, those of us whose terms end.
Do we know who they are, other than you?
Yeah, and didn't we discuss this at one point about? I think my term ends too. I was only in for a short period.
okay. In which case we would want to. Okay, so the questions are, so who served for 2 terms? Because
I have.
okay, so Nancy, you served for 2 terms. So actually, yeah, so we would be.
I'm sure I have.
Replacement. And Walter, yeah. Actually, as Walter, I suppose that you must have, because So so if you two are on the original,
Lilith committee.
And Jay.
Yeah, Jay, I've been on the committee for many years.
Yeah.
Jay is our Mount Rushmore person.
Yeah, Mike, this is Bill. Mike, is there a term limits for this committee?
There's nothing formal, but the tradition in town has been to do 2 3-year terms and then sort of get off the stage.
Right.
However, it is possible to appoint someone for an additional period of time under sort of 2 conditions. One, the unique qualifications, and the other is if we can't find anybody willing to serve on the committee. So that's sort of up to you as to how you would like to proceed, but town meeting is coming up here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I hope. And so the earlier you could get names into me so I can get them on the select board agenda, the better. So you don't go with a period without, because there's going to be a ton of appointments that have to be made following town meeting. So I'd encourage you to get it in as quickly as you can.
So I have a question, David, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I would ask Nancy and Jay and Walter, are you willing to continue if we can't find enough other people to join us?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, I'm willing to continue.
so what,
I did not care when I started.
Right. Good. That's good.
so one thought, and I suppose one possibility is that I don't know, Mike, if it's possible we have like one more year to shepherd this thing through, and then at which point we come to our next item on the agenda, which is what we do after this, if anything. So I'm wondering if 1 year extensions would be appropriate at that rate.
Well, and Dave, that's a good idea. Other possibility would be to simply point out to the board, recommend to the board that we keep we have them renewed, but we're still discussing whether the committee itself will continue for another year after that. In which case, it doesn't matter. We're all going to be dismissed.
Well, yes.
Yeah. And then we would look for one more new member anyway. Just to
Oh, yes. Yeah.
somebody else on board. So that would be my recommendation, that the board, that we would ask for the present members to be renewed. And then also we would be searching for one more new member. We would submit a name. And then we would let the board, the select board, know whether we believe the committee should continue.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit awkward. I mean, we have one new member that we want to bring into the circumstances. We're bringing in 4 new members to a board that might be, that is just finishing up old business and might be disbanded after that.
Right.
It's a hard sell.
I think it's going to be a hard sell to the new members to wonder what the devil they're going to be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to have a constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, how long did women's suffrage take? You know, come on.
That's right.
I think that is a good idea. Not so much for the need to shepherd the home rule petition through, because I think that, it goes back to town meeting if it's approved by the legislature, and then it has to be a ballot measure. But I think in the second point that you made, discussing the future of the committee, I think it would be unwise to have 3 new members join this committee to talk about its future. I'd rather have you guys who've been slogging your way through this stuff for years figure it out. And then you can bring new people on with whatever the new charge is, or if you decide to go out of business, there won't be any need for that.
Mm.
So if it was a committee's wish, that I would simply take Nancy Walter and Jay's appointments back to the select board to be appointed for a one-year term for the reasons you articulated. I'd be more than happy to support that.
Well, I think we are ready for a motion to request that Mike do precisely that. Unless there's further discussion.
No, I think that's an elegant solution. It allows us to continue to figure out whether we should continue or disband without a lot of frou-frou. I think this is precisely what we should do. So I would move that motion however you read it.
I have a question for Mike again. Mike, how unusual is it to ask for a one-year extension? Would that cause some problem for the board, select board?
I can't speak for the board, but I think it was a pretty straightforward rationale for that,
Okay.
which seems, on the surface, perfectly reasonable. So I would guess that they would go along with it. What I'll try to do is see if I can get these essentially renominations is what they'll be. I'll see if I can get them on the agenda for the select board meeting on Monday. It's a little late, but we've done this before for appointments and nominations. And the reason I'm suggesting that is that this meeting on the 31st, there's just one more meeting after that before town meeting. And which is going to be on Tuesday, September the 8th, because I think Labor Day is Monday the 7th. So if we can get it on the agenda for Monday, that'll allow us to make the appointments. And so when town meeting happens, you're already will be in place.
Oh, good.
Remind me of the date of town meeting.
13th.
September 13th, Sunday at 1 o'clock, Doug White Fields.
Is that the football field?
It's the soccer fields up behind the high school.
Oh, okay.
Bill, what is your term and when does your term end?
No, I don't have it right in front of me. I think it ends the same time. I think it ends this year. Yeah, I don't have it right here.
Well, I will find that out. And
Thanks, Mike.
if Bill's term ends along with Jay, Walter, and Nancy, I'll just add him to the nomination.
Great.
And Reiner, what about him?
I don't know, but
He's muted right now, but we might ask him if he knows.
well, why don't you frame your motion this way, that you recommend to the select board that the terms of members who come to an end at this year's town meeting be extended for 1 year.
Okay.
And then I'll go find out whose term actually is expiring.
Okay.
And whose isn't at all.
Yes.
That sounds good.
I'll write David,
Hi, Philip.
let him know.
Okay.
Okay.
Mike, I'm concerned because we have to get this, first we go to the legislature, then the legislature has to bless it. Then it has to
I'm
come
just
back
wondering,
down
I'm in the middle of a Zoom meeting of a tax.
by the town meeting, and then has to go
No,
to
no,
the board.
but it's going to be over in about 10 minutes. And then why don't I call you?
Jay's mic is open.
Okay? Bye.
So we have to allow for, it's got to get to the town meeting and the town-wide vote, I believe.
Yeah.
So we may need more than a year.
Good point.
It's got to come to the, if this takes more than a year, we're in trouble.
Why is that?
Because because we will run out of, we will end up having a gap in the, if we don't get this through the 2021 annual town meeting, then we face a gap in the coverage of the exemption.
But Ryan's point is still there, right? Because this committee these membership would have been dissolved by then.
Yeah, and then we would, yes, and then we would be unable to deal with the issue. So that's a good point.
So why not simply ask, Mike? I'm back to you. Why not simply ask for everyone's term to be renewed, and at a standard 3 years, rather than ask for the 1 year?
Yeah.
And that actually will make things a simple request because I just checked my dates and I also come up for renewal in 2020.
Oh.
So,
Oh my God.
but I've only had one term, so no problem giving me another 3 years. And I think Bill, I think you're the same.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. So just 3. It's the entire committee practically.
Yeah.
Well, I think, excuse me, I think there is an issue because if we're appointing people for 3 years, it sort of belies what we talked about before. And that is that the reason I would propose this is so that the committee's future could be determined. And you guys got to be able to figure that out in less than 3 years.
But Mike, if we decide if the committee recommends to the board that we want to be dissolved, then our terms end. So right? So it doesn't matter.
Right, but I guess the question is if we decide not to dissolve.
Yeah, if you decide to continue on,
then the three members would retire and be replaced by new ones.
you could always, if you get reappointed for a year, as those terms begin to expire, you could always come back to the select board and ask that be extended.
Okay.
But I think for 3 years, it kind of undermines the rationale.
Or you could do it in two parts. I mean, Bill and I could be nominated for regular 3-year extensions, and the other 3 for.
So yeah, Bill, if Bill's term expires, he and David can just be reappointed to a second term.
Yeah.
And that requires no further explanation.
No, that's just straightforward.
And
then for Nancy, Walter, and Jay, that's the 1-year extension so that the committee would be intact to discuss and map its future. I think that makes good sense.
And Mike, I like your notion that if come next spring or as we approach the next town meeting, we might come back and ask for a further extension for some of the members or all the members.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I don't have any problem with that. I won't be there, but.
Good.
So are you guys going to vote to recommend that to me so I can?
So moved.
I second it.
Good. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, I see and hear none opposed, so that again passes.
Okay. Thank you.
And let's see, all right, well, we have I think that was all under the title of the status of the search for the new committee member, which grew a little bit, and I think we've also touched on the future of the Tax Fairness Committee. Well, we have we think one more year to deal with that. But if anyone has any comments they'd like to start with today, I think this would be a good time for that.
I think we just wait. I think we wait till after the town meeting.
Yeah, and then see how see what happens there, and
yeah,
and what we have to do next. All right.
And Ryan, you're all set for town meet. You're all set for your presentation at town meeting.
Oh, I can talk for an hour.
Oh yeah, right. Actually, that's
There are no presentations.
That's actually. Thank you for reminding me about that. So there won't be a presentation, but
really?
There will not be a presentation. That is one of the yes. Well, we can't present slides. However, the moderator has asked us to designate at least one person who will be so to speak on deck. So when the warrant article comes up, And if somebody has questions they want to ask, that there's somebody, basically up at the front of the, it's not an auditorium anymore, but up at the front of the meeting, near the microphone, who can step up and answer them. And I think that would, if that would be a suitable substitute for giving a presentation, that could be the role.
I think there's got to be some sort of a simple presentation.
No.
At least
Oh, they're not allowing any?
Not allowing it.
Presentations
Yeah,
are allowed.
They're not allowing it, Jay.
What?
No presentations are allowed.
Yeah.
No.
That's the handbook.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand that. None are allowed?
There will be
No.
no presentation.
Okay.
Although there's nothing to, I suppose there's nothing really to stop. I think Rainer, you had a very nice little closing statement in your original presentation. I think there's nothing. I don't think there's anything to stop you from adding that couple of sentences as a tag on to whatever if you have to answer questions.
The thing that will stop you will be the moderator.
Yes, that's true.
David,
So it has to be good. You have to get it in quick.
David, in case something does come up, I think you have a perfect handle on all of the peculiarities of our motion numbers and things like that. So I think as chairman, you're the logical one to field any question that comes up.
All right. Well, if you'd like that, I was going to have a crib sheet because I certainly wouldn't have this all on top of my head, but and anyone could have used a crib sheet, but I could certainly do that.
I think it's good.
The only thing we need is for the assessor to give us the numbers for this most recent year. A simple statement that says it's working, where this many people took advantage of it.
That's in the handout, isn't it?
No, it's not in this handout.
Well, the fiscal
You say there were
2021
44
numbers are not in the
applications?
handout.
Well, it says this year, it does. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we have the 2021 numbers yet. I think that they are the deadline for the applications is
But it is FY20, so that's already passed, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so, David, you can just stand up and say, I think you learned to read by 4th grade, and we wrote this for the 4th grade level vocabulary. Actually pick up your piece of paper, look at it.
That's a great way to be sure it gets voted down.
Yes.
Let's do that.
This shows that the school committee needs more money because they've obviously failed.
Yeah, I will. Although actually, that's a good point. But I mentioned I need a crib sheet, and actually, I just need a handout in front of me.
Anyway,
if I forget my crib sheet, I'll just open the booklet to Article 15.
we just thank the moderator for allowing 30 minutes for discussion of this.
Good, we're all set?
All right. So
Nancy, could I just
So the conclusion is I will
say one thing?
determine that I'll be on deck. And
Okay, that's
Could I
great.
say one thing?
fine. Okay.
Could I say one thing to Nancy? Apparently, the reason I couldn't get in is for some reason my computer doesn't like to go to Zoom from Microsoft Word. So could you just next time put the link just in the email and not put it in a Word document?
Oh, actually, next time, presumably,
Yeah.
Jeffrey will be doing that. I think that Jeffrey normally does it. He must have done it for us the last time, didn't he?
We had the
I don't know.
be in passcode, so you don't need to go in through Word or anything else.
I mean, I came in by phone, but when I clicked on the link, it said we can't do this from Word. That's what my computer said.
No, but the thing to do is to look at the agenda, take the agenda document, and right in the front of it, it has the meeting ID and the passcode. And you just log into Zoom separately,
Yeah.
not through anything else.
That's the way I get in all the time. It's just, I've got Zoom on my computer. I go to Zoom and then I put in the two things, the PW and the ID, and I'm in.
The ID and the passcode.
Oh.
Yeah, that's much better than often than the clicking that thing that's there supposed to let you in, but half the time they put you through some stupid procedures.
No, okay, that's what I'll do next time then. I didn't know that.
Good.
All right. Well, so I think if we have, I think we have no further business. We, but do we want to arrange our next meeting before we adjourn, or?
Yes.
Actually, I guess, yeah. Actually, our next meeting is dependent upon the actions of select board too. I mean, otherwise we actually, I think actually we have pretty much almost no members left if we don't get reappointed. So
Oh,
Yeah, well, let's schedule it anyway and assume that the select.
Yeah.
board.
yeah.
But I think if we set it a month ahead, then the select board will have time to.
We can always change a date, but why don't we pick a date so we get it on a calendar and stay, don't do something else.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So today's August 28th, late September sometime.
Yeah, September 25th.
Let's see. Just make sure that's.
That looks fine.
Will you be back by then, Jay?
Yep.
Mhm.
And I will be too.
Good.
Just check one thing on the calendar. Yeah, that actually September 25th will work fine.
Great.
Okay. All right, so September 25th at 8 a.m.
Sounds good.
Great.
So we'll see you at town meeting.
Yes.
Take care, guys.
All right. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Goodbye,
All right.
everybody.
Morning.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been very helpful.
Okay.